Good evening, friends. Welcome to this evening's Danny Buckler Show live on Instagram, where it all happens. Because it's not happening anywhere else right now. How is everybody? Hope everyone's healthy, everyone's well, everyone's having a cracking week. All that exists is what's happening now. And what's happening now is I'm all of a tingle, because I'm going to have a mate come on in a minute and we're going to talk about stuff. Hey, Nick Farmer, how are you? Lovely to see you. Hope you're well too. Hey, John Kinney. I've got a mate coming on tonight. We're going to talk about movies and stuff. In fact, he's here. I'll wait for him to send in the request. Here it comes. Right, ladies and gentlemen, straight in. Please welcome to this evening's Danny Buckler live stream show. Come on. This is where the technical bit gets... This is why I get all cut. Here it is. Here it is. Go live with... Yes. Here it comes. It's Danny time, right? Opening my portal, reaching through it to somewhere in London at a secret location and putting him back into the... Yes, there he is. I timed it right.
Here we are.
How are you?
Is this working?
It's working fine. You're not freezing. I can sort about... Yeah, you're out and about.
Great.
You're walking the streets.
I'm walking to a park.
Oh, beautiful.
So the reason this is because my street, which is in Zone 2, London, England, doesn't have fibre optic broadband.
Unbelievable. In this day and age, that's a disgrace.
Yeah. The roads are currently been dug up now. In a few weeks, there'll be fibre optic broadband. So I could have been sitting at home. Instead, I'm going to a park at 10 o'clock.
Oh God!
To talk to you.
I've got spinach in my teeth.
You've got spinach in your teeth.
Yeah. I just laughed. Got a massive lump of spinach. Oh, this is a cracking start, isn't it? It's like Parky.
So what's going on?
Well, the world is madness. I see you've been running 10k yesterday. Well done, you.
Thank you very much. Do you know what? Honestly, in the lockdown, I was sort of running 5k a day,
right,
which was really good. And then so the 10k wasn't actually that hard. It wasn't. I felt a bit bad because it wasn't. Like, I couldn't say, oh, actually, this was quite easy, but it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. But you can't really say that.
Well, you can. I'm envious of you. I couldn't even manage the 5k. I've been walking around the woods. That's my bit of my... Proper, look at the state of this. Look at this egregious nonsense. Look at that. That is mint arrows. I'm like the Incredible Melting Man. I've got tits. It's embarrassing, mate. I'm telling you, I've proper...
Have you actually got tits?
Mint arrows, they're £1. I've been stuck at home. Mint arrows are £1, and it's like, and Netflix is on. You know what I mean? It's just not been good for the Buckler pod.
There's the park. I can see the park.
I want to see this park.
Did you manage to find any work in lockdown or?
Well, I've done. What have I done? I've been doing some charity stuff. Like I did some workshops, some magic workshops for some kids that are in care. I don't blow my own trumpet, Sean, but that's what I did that. And
that's very good.
I got my first gig back on Thursday, Friday. I'm doing this the Edinburgh Festival. It's not an Edinburgh Festival thing in London.
Oh, okay.
So I'm doing that. How about you? You did with Paul, didn't you? Paul McCaffrey.
I did, and we did. He's now running gigs. He's a booker.
Is he really? And he's watching this, and I've not had the call. Busted, you arsehole. He's watching this. There's a man starving here. I'll book your famous mates, but leave old Buckles out in the cold. What's he booking? I bet Rom's done it, hasn't he? What's he?
He has done it. Yeah, I had to follow him.
You had to follow Rom. Lovely.
I know. I was furious.
Oh,
but it
I
was
got a
fine.
wave for that from McCaffrey.
I'm finding a bench. You'll be able to see me in a second. Don't worry. I'm finding a bench.
Nice.
So yeah, but the gig was great. Actually, it was. To be honest with you, I saw it was how I suspected comedy would be, even at the beginning. I had friends that thought that sort of it was going to change, that like that comedy wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
And I know on a sort of grand scale at the moment it is, but if there is a gig, it is exactly the same. It
Right.
was the same. It was just outside. It was outside. It was outside, and it was the same as if you were doing a normal gig.
It wasn't like a
You know.
drive-in one, was it?
Oh fuck no.
Good.
No, it was in a beautiful beer garden in Winchester.
Oh, lovely.
But it was great. It was great fun. I was happy. I was happy about having a break. Were you, or did you miss it?
Well, I wasn't. This is the weird thing because I had a moment of I've been doing a lot in America, and I've been flying a lot.
Oh,
I know, right?
look at you.
I'm just ships and things. Nothing big or fancy. But I was just exhausted from the backwards and forwards, and I was really kind of like giving it full. Oh, I could do with 3 months off, and then it happened, which I found quite scary because I thought I'd done it to me God mind, but yeah, but now, and I was initially like, oh, this is actually not so bad. I've got savings. I'll be all right. But now I'm getting a little bit, this weekend has come at the right moment, you know?
Yes. Yes. I did another one. I did an open air theatre with, in Hove in Brighton with Stephen K. Amos and Stephen Grant.
Nice.
That was great. Well, it was it was an open air theatre. It felt vast and quite big. So that was great as well.
I've seen the photographs of the car gigs, when you're the drive-in ones. I don't fancy that much.
No, either do I. But everyone that I've spoken to that's done them really enjoyed them. But I still don't. It didn't make me want to do them. I still thought it sounds like a horrendous idea.
Like you're performing to windscreen wipers.
Yeah, exactly. That's people tooting their horn when they find it funny. What?
Yeah.
No, not for me.
That would kill a man's timing.
Yes, it would.
Very hard to get a flow going in that scenario.
Exactly.
Have you been writing and stuff? And what have you been up to?
What do I do? Early on, I think everyone was similar. Early on, I was very productive. And what did I do? I wrote it was a lot of fun, and they were great. The people that were in it were great. I wrote a sort of lockdown rom-com that was set over Zoom.
Nice.
But it was good fun. And then what else did I do? I started doing this like recurring sketch, if you will, where I was playing a sort of vile version of myself that was trying to use COVID to get his career back on track. And that was fun. And then I just got bored of it and realised it was pointless. All my friends sort of, like, not just friends in comedy, I have, like, other, filmmaker friends and stuff. And they all had the same thing, which was that at the beginning, everyone was sort of up for creating things and using the break to do stuff. And then, like, a few weeks in, just went, this is all pointless. This is completely pointless. Why am I doing any of this?
Yeah.
Did you have that?
Well, I've had a bit of that. I mean, I've been doing these live streams with sort of mates because otherwise I don't get to speak to my mates unless I sort of put a thing in. But also, and just because to keep my brain awake, because otherwise I'd just end up sitting on the couch for 12 hours. But there's no agenda here. I'm not doing this to get. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to lead to anything.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I'm not going to get the phone call tomorrow saying, like, Corden's lost the Late Late Show in New York, Buckles, and we saw you on Instagram. We thought we'd fly you out, and you know, it's just kind of he's just doing stuff for the crack of doing it. I've made a couple of little sketches and things for YouTube, but
for your own YouTube channel.
I've now got a YouTube channel, Sean. Yes, the Danny Buckler Show. Subscribe, for the love of God. But yeah, it's only got.
What's the show?
It's only got a couple of little sketches on it so far, but yeah. Do you do the YouTubes?
No, there is. I do have a channel, but no, I don't do it. I think I've got 12 subscribers. Yeah.
I'll tell you what you did that I loved was the drunk. I thought that was brilliant.
Oh, thank you. That was good. Strange. Yeah. What did I say? There was a joke in the drunk, if you could call it a joke. There was a little sort of, is it a joke? What is it when there's no dialogue? There was a bit where the drunk, there's a burglar in his house, and he goes to grab a knife, but he's so pissed he grabs a whisk.
Right.
And then I saw that same joke done on in a big Amazon Prime series called Upload. Have you seen this?
No, I've not seen Upload. I've seen the drunk. Right.
Yes, so Upload, which is this big Greg Daniels, who is the sort of who was the showrunner for the American Office.
Right.
They did that joke. I'm sure they. By the way, I'm not for a second claiming that they stole that joke, but it's pretty cool. I was like, oh, I wrote that in my little short. Quite a nice feeling.
Beautiful. It's like the plank. It's like it was like, you know, the old the plank, the old silent. Have you seen it? Silent.
Do you know what? The
70s.
plank. I think Pete Furman said it. Our friend Pete.
Yeah.
Said it's he loves the plank, and I think he might have even got it for. I think I've got it, and I never watched it.
Oh, you'll love it.
What is
Brilliant.
it? What the fuck is? What is it?
It's a silent film, but made well, not recent now. I think it was the late 70s, but it was like a silent film made when silent films weren't being made, and it was
Yeah.
I forget who's in it. Eric Sykes is in it. It's kind of like comedy stars of the day, and it's just a short film. They're trying to get this plank into a house and up some stairs. These workmen, and things happen, and it's well worth seeking out. If he's given it to you, you should watch it.
I started watching. I think me and you spoke. I think we had a little exchange, but I think I said you remind me of him. I started watching Hancock.
Oh, what do you think?
Did I tell you that he reminded me of you? I did tell you.
Yeah, a few people have said that, but stoned me. I don't know why, but I don't get it, mate. I just don't understand it, Sid. But I love Hancock.
But can I be honest with you?
Speak freely.
Yeah, I know. So it wasn't Hancock's half hour. It was. I'm confused. Were there like 2 TV series?
So there was Hancock's half hour.
Yeah.
And that turned into a thing just called Hancock.
Yes, right. It was Hancock.
And then it sort of, and it wasn't as good because in Hancock's half hour he had this kind of cast of supporting figures, Sid James and Kenneth Williams, and then when it became Hancock, it was just him, and it wasn't quite as good. It was missing something.
Because I just couldn't. I don't know if it was too slow for me. I don't know. I didn't.
Yeah, that's not the.
I really wanted to find it funny because you want to sound. I think it always sounds impressive when you.
Got the circle of death. He'll be back in a sec. So you froze. You froze for a second there.
Sorry, I'm here. But it always sounds impressive, doesn't it? When you sort of know about old comedy.
Yeah.
So I wanted to like it, but if I'm honest, I just couldn't really get my head around it.
You've not seen.
But I do like.
In his defence, you've not seen the best. If that's the series that you've watched, you've not seen the best of him at all.
I love Chaplin.
That was him in decline. If you get the earlier stuff where he's got the team around him and he's living in the flat in East Cheam and all that, that's a more satisfying experience. And the radio show's great as well.
Maybe I'll give it a second go. Yeah, yeah. Do you still watch comedy?
Very rarely now. I watch my mates when I'm gigging with them, but
Well, not stand up, not stand up. Any? Do you watch,
I've been
sitcoms
doing
or
a little
anything?
bit of that while this lockdown's been happening. I've been going back. I'm a big fan of I've been going through the '80s catalogue. I've been doing like Caddyshack and Ghostbusters and the vacation films and stuff.
Oh, you've been doing the
Mm,
films. Caddyshack's very American, isn't
I
it?
love it. That whole era of comedy fascinates me, and I've got a couple of books on it. And there's a book I'm reading at the moment called Improvisation, which is the story of improv as an art form. And it gets into where that sort of Bill Murray, Chevy Chase group, where they came out of, what they were doing before that.
Second City.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
which we don't. It's a sort of a culture we don't really have here.
No, because we don't really. Even though you get all these you do get these comedy courses, but it's not. Comedians don't tend to be schooled here, do they?
No.
But it's like it's not a thing at all to be ashamed of. You go to comedy school in America.
Mm.
Did you do a course?
No, never did. How about you?
I did do a course.
Oh, whose? Which one?
A lovely woman called Jill Edwards in Brighton. And what happened was when I was, I pretty much always wanted to be a comedian, but I kept bottling it into. I put down my name, Guy. Do you know Guy Venables?
No, I don't.
Okay, so a comedian in Brighton called Guy Venables ran an open mic night at Comedia. I can't remember what it was called, and I put down my name to get on. And when it got to the night, I bottled it, and I didn't turn up. And then it got to a point where I was going to the Comedia every Sunday, and I would even go alone. And then it got to a point where I was like, right, I've got to do this. So I went to put my name down on the open mic night again, but it ended, and all there was the course. And if you did the course, you got to do a gig at the end at the Comedia. That would be your first gig.
Oh, nice.
And it's obviously, it's one of the best clubs in the country still to this day.
Yeah.
So did the course, and the things you learn in the course that actually are quite vital for the early days of stand-up are. It doesn't sound like it's that important, but they really are. And actually, it's good. It's actually good to sometimes remind yourself, even when you've been going over 10 years, of like the things that you learn. Then like just simple things like standing still.
Yeah.
Like if you get taught that, if you get told, make sure you stand still, then you're simply aware of that when you begin. But like that would be something that if no one told me that you had to stand still, I would have been so nervous. I would have just been pacing about all the time, and I would have looked really nervous. But by just standing there, you already look, fucking 80% more comfortable in those early days.
I got that off of Tom Stade told me that.
Really?
Yeah, we was chatting about comedy. He said there's in comedy there's leaders and goofs, and leaders stand still.
And what's the other one?
Goofs. So if you're running around trying to please and be a goof, and but leaders stand still. And so he was like, that was his big sort of tip. So stand still, and you'll be a leader of the room. You'll lead the room. That was the way he phrased it.
He was someone that tried to, actually, in terms of Tom Stay tips, he really encouraged me to film myself doing stand-up and watch it back. He said that really took his act to the next level, but I never really had it in myself to watch myself. I can't do it.
That's the hardest part of that, is sitting watching yourself.
It's unbearable. I find it utterly unbearable.
I can't do it. It's agony. I force myself to do it because now you have to have some sort of an online video to, show people what you do, but it's painful looking at it. I find it painful. These guys,
No, it is painful.
these people that can relentlessly upload clips of themselves doing stand-up, how they can do it, and yeah, that's worth it. And stick, I can't find. I'll watch like a 20-minute video of myself, and literally at the end of it, be like, none of that is worth needs to be ever seen again. That needs to be consigned to the dustbin of this. Like, there's no point in me sharing that. There's no. The bin on my laptop is full of stuff that I've started to make for this lockdown. Little sketches and that, and I've edited it and the music and everything, and then right at the end, don't think so, delete. That's not going up. That's not good enough.
Oh, you should post it.
I should.
You should definitely post it.
Hang on a second. Ended 2-1. Extra time was thrilling. Oh, Paul's giving you a football update.
I know. I left the playoff final.
For this? Oh, I'm sorry. I've dragged you out for this. Sorry. You were engrossed in a football match, and I've dragged you down the park for a chat on a phone. Oh, it's the gig of the year, this. Have you been watching stuff? Because this is the thing. You're like me. You're a massive film fan, and there's no films. It's all sort of ground to a halt, isn't it? We should have had a new.
Well, I'm gutted because, you know, in July, or was it June or July, I would have been watching Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Absolutely, yeah. Which I'm excited about.
I met Jason Reitman.
Oh, come on. And?
I was at the Comedy Store in LA, and I think I must have been, maybe I was smoking, I don't know. I think I was smoking at the time. And he walked past, and I fangirled him and went, Jason! 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 And I said to him, he was a bit sort of freaked out, and I said, I'm really sorry, I'm a massive Ghostbusters fan. I just want to say hello. You know, is it all right to get a selfie? And I got the selfie with him, and he said, and I said, I'm really excited about Ghostbusters 3. And at this point, I don't think there was no trailer. There was no trailer. There was just that teaser thing that they released, which wasn't really a trailer. It was just a sort of zoom in on the back of the Ecto-1, the vehicle. And I wasn't saying that for you, by the way. I was saying that in case anyone didn't know. Yeah. So I said to him, I'm really looking forward to it. And he said, oh, I hope we, he said, oh, I hope we don't let you down.
Oh, that's nice.
And I know. And I touched him on the shoulder. And I said, you won't, I can feel it.
I love it.
And I really could, and I can. And I think it's going to be, brilliant.
I think so too. That little teaser trailer thing they did gave me all the thrills.
Yeah.
Like all the buzzes that I wanted out of that last reboot. There was nothing of Ghostbusters in it. It was Ghostbusters only, you know.
That was one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Yeah, atrocious.
Yeah.
And just no magic in it. No. It's not just me looking at it through the eyes of nostalgia. There's magic in Ghostbusters. There was no magic in it. There was no, you know, moments. There was no.
Well, the problem is that I think the main problem is that Paul Feig, the director, and his co-writer, they just didn't get what was good about the first two. They didn't get it. So it was in the wrong hands.
Completely.
It was just basically everything that could be wrong with it was wrong with it. It was completely wrong.
Yeah.
They didn't get one thing right.
Yeah, way off.
Yeah.
And sort of slightly heartbreaking to see the original cast in the cameos as well. I felt a little bit like,
I know.
You didn't need to do that, Bill. You know. But this new one looks. I'm well up for the new one. And
it's a good. I think. What's his name? Oh fucking hell! It escapes me. Who's in it? What's his name?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. I think that's great casting, and you can tell from the trailer that he's pitching it perfectly, and they're all taking it very seriously.
Yes.
And I think that's what That's what that 2016 Ghostbusters didn't have. Is that you had to treat it like it was real, and that's what made it so funny.
Mm. Yeah, and in this moment, I mean, the original's terrifying in moments.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a genuine sense of like threat from the ghosts, whereas in this new one, they all seemed a bit too. Not even that. Not the CGI. I don't know what. It just didn't have any magic in it. And there was no sense of like the climax of the original Ghostbusters. You really feel like the end of the world might happen.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yes. I also think it's Ghostbusters 2 is quite scary when the slime in the bath tries to get the baby.
Ghostbusters 2 is very scary, and that and the nanny, the guy coming down at the window with the pram.
Yeah. Did you like Ghostbusters 2? Not a lot of people.
I did. I liked it fine. I mean, I prefer the first one, but I know a lot of people are down on it, and I've got that kind of I quite like the ending when the Statue of Liberty walks down the street. I quite like it.
It's great.
I really like it.
Really
I'm
good.
a bit of an American fan, you know, so I kind of liked all that stuff.
So the other film that we've missed because of the bat bug is Tenet.
That's end of this month. That's out.
And are you no? Hang on. I can't remember now. Are you a Nolan fan
massive.
or not? I can't.
Massive.
Yes. So what do you think about? What do you know about that? And what do you think about that?
I know nothing. They showed us the last time I went to the cinema was Rise of Skywalker at the IMAX.
Oh, tell me what you thought about that. Let's talk about that.
Oh, that was. I mean, I was not a fan of the Last Jedi.
I think we spoke about this a long time ago.
I believe we disagree on this point. Do we not? You like the Last Jedi? Am I right?
I thought it was absolutely. I thought it was like a masterpiece. I thought it was incredible.
Yeah.
What I'm interested in what your problem with it was then, because I thought it was just mind-blowingly brilliant.
I think I need to watch it again. But my problem with it was it didn't feel like, I know this is going to sound the height of naff, it didn't feel Star Wars-y. There was a Star, and that wasn't that. I don't buy that the Luke Skywalker stuff. I don't buy that the galaxy's greatest optimist, who is willing to die for the chance to prove there is a shred of hope in the heart of Darth Vader, the planet destroyer. He's willing to die because he's the only person left with the optimism to see good in this man. I don't believe he turns into an old hermit that drinks blue milk from the tit and, you know, lives off manky fish and hates himself. I don't buy that character giving up. And I didn't like that.
Because that's been a complaint on. I've read that complaint, and actually, I'm sure you know this, but that was one of Mark Hamill's complaints.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't. I thought it was. The thing is, I thought that he dealt with that. I personally felt that what was his name? Rian Johnson dealt with that because he, you know, this thing had happened in Luke Skywalker's life, which had taken his hope, which was that he had got the training wrong with Kylo Ren, and that had changed his character. And, you know, incidences change human beings; they change us, and it changed him. And people, we were sad to find our Luke Skywalker, not the same Luke Skywalker that we left, but lo and behold, by the end of the film, full circle, he was the Skywalker that you're talking about. So he was him. He had just lost him for that period of the story. But he came back. I thought it was. I remember I cried my eyes out at the end when he vanishes. I thought it was
You're making me want to see it again now.
I thought it was another reason I thought it was brilliant is because I felt like I didn't know this at the first time at the first viewing, but he he was a writer on Game of Thrones. Did you know this?
I did, I think. Did I know this?
So he was one of, like, the head writers on Game of Thrones, and he had, if you rewatch it, basically it was almost like every sequence ended with a question. It was very sort of episodic in the way that, those series need to be. They need to end, and you need to want to know what happens next. And I felt like The Last Jedi, every sequence ended and sort of asked a brand new question that I was looking forward to hearing the answer to. And it was just constantly like that for the 2.5 hours. And I also found it quite funny, and I loved all the really cool Hollywood stuff that I thought they pitched perfectly. Like answer me this. Did you like this? When they blast the shit out of Luke, and then he's still there.
Yes, I did like that.
And then he goes like this. He goes like this.
Absolutely love that.
Yes.
Yes.
Fucking amazing.
That was a moment.
So I would highly recommend that you rewatch it, and because I know there are a couple of people that didn't quite like it at first, but they rewatched it and liked it. What did you tell me what you thought of Rise of Skywalker? Go.
Right, I enjoyed it as a 2 hours in the cinema, but it did feel a bit like a mess.
I totally agree.
Like a scramble. Like Palpatine's back, but it's kind of like he just sort of is. There's no kind of rhyme or reason to it, and and just an oddness to it. It just felt like a rushed kind of a weird trying to undo what Ryan Johnson. Is it Johnson? Ryan Johnson? Trying to undo what he did in some weird way. Like, and then the second half was you got Richard E. Grant popping up, and it's a character who I really liked, but it was like, why couldn't I see this guy throughout this 3-film series? Why is he appearing now out of nowhere? Like, why we literally got like Palpatine's reappeared, and now Richard E. Grant's another big bad, and the whole weirdness. It's just felt odd and rushed, and Rey's no one, but now she's a Palpatine.
That was I felt like that was totally ridiculous, and I think that like you're right, it was scrambled egg, and it was basically the impossible task. The thing is that it ended. I sort of thought, I don't think I enjoyed that really that much, but you didn't leave. I didn't leave angry because you thought, I don't think anyone would have made that work. It was impossible. I just think it was the impossible task, and I thought that he was the guy that if anyone was going to do it, he was the guy to do it, and even JJ couldn't do it.
Yeah,
it just didn't. And that, like I mentioned to Donnelly, Carl Donnelly, the comedian. Yeah. I thought this was a sort of interesting point, if I may say so myself. And it's not really a point, but I suppose it is a point, because it's about one of the problems with that last film is when we were given the trailer to the Rise of Skywalker, right? It was in the trailer and the big campaign that it was the news was broken that Palpatine was back, right?
Yeah, with that laugh.
Right, so yeah, the laugh, and then there was another. The other trailers come out, and there's sort of more footage of him or whatever, or you hear more saying, more pieces of dialogue from him. So we now go in with the expectation that he's going to be in it, right?
Yes.
So we go, oh right, fuck, Palpatine's back. Fuck, how he's back? Wow, what the fuck is this? What's going to happen, and how is this? How can this be so? And then you watch The Rise of Skywalker, and because he had to ram everything in, Palpatine's reappearance is delivered through the writing, the what do you call it, the
scroll, yeah, yeah,
right. So Palpatine is returned, and we know this because we've seen the trailers. Yeah. So we're sort of not really shocked by it, and so far, if you're watching it scroll, so it's almost like so far so good. But if you take away the advertising campaign, and really you shouldn't be consuming the film and its story through an advertising campaign, if you were to you had never watched Star Wars before, and you go, right, you set it up and you watch episode 4, 5, 6, if you want, and then you go back and you watch 1, 2, 3, and then you watch 7, 8, and then you watch 9. Suddenly, you've watched all these episodes of Star Wars, and then it scrolls up and it goes, Palpatine's back. That's when you would find out in that scrolling, and you'd be like, what the fuck?
But the way it's announced, the dead speak, with an exclamation mark. I saw my brother, and he was next to me, and when he saw that, he just started cracking up. And I was like, you don't want to be cracking up at the opening scroll of a Star Wars. You want to be sitting there like that, watching it go. And he was just losing his shit. The dead speak. Like, he's just come back, like, hello. There was no build. There was no.
That's what I mean.
Imagine going in that film, totally... not knowing he was in it.
That's what I'm saying.
And about 10 minutes in, you hear like a Jesus, and it turns out he's the mastermind behind everything. But
that's exactly my point. But they almost sort of couldn't do it because there just wasn't the time. There wasn't the time for them to deal with anything delicately. They just had to like ram it down our throats, and there was just also, by the way, to compare it to The Last Jedi, which you don't like, the Rise of Skywalker, there is absolutely, it doesn't stop, and I think that was probably JJ's plan. I think he thought, let's go for it. You press play or you sit down and it just fucking starts and it goes for 3 hours and it ends. But actually, if you do that, just everything becomes meaningless, and you're not allowing just time with the characters and letting characters sort of reflect on moments and think and watch them converse. And The Last Jedi has a lot of sequences, like, where the film sort of stops, and those are your favourite scenes.
You really are. You want to see it again,
Good. If you think about like The Empire Strikes Back, when it's just Yoda and Luke, or in Return of the Jedi when he returns and they just talk. Like, for me, those are actually the best scenes. And the Rise of Skywalker doesn't have fucking any of it. It just goes, and it's a mess, like you say. Scrambled eggs.
Yeah. So getting back to Tenet, is it Tenet?
Yes. Yes.
They showed the first 5 minutes before the Rise of Skywalker.
You're joking?
No, I'm not. And it's I still couldn't tell you what it's about, but it's one of those. The opening 10 minutes is a very clear. This is going to be possibly the film of the decade. Like, this is incredible. Yeah. And at the end of Rise of Skywalker, I was thinking, can we just watch the rest of that? Can you bin this? Because that looked like you've got me up there. So I'm well up for it. Yeah, we should go.
Yes. Well, can we go into the cinema?
Well, it's getting a cinema release on August 26th. So I'm assuming...
Since Dark Knight, I have yet to have watched a Nolan film. I've hang on, let me get this sentence correct. I'm very tired. Since Dark Knight, I've yet to have not seen a Nolan film in IMAX.
Same here.
You have... Oh, then, all right, then I'll go with you.
Same
we'll
here.
Go and watch Tenet. We'll go and watch it in IMAX.
I saw Dark Knight in IMAX. I didn't see Batman Begins in IMAX. Did I see Batman? No, I did see Batman Begins in IMAX.
Wow.
I think.
But none of Batman Begins is shot in IMAX.
No, I didn't. I'm mistaken. It was Dark Knight. Yeah, it was Dark Knight.
No. But what I mean is, Batman Begins isn't shot in IMAX. So they might have played it in IMAX, but it's not shot in IMAX. And then in Dark Knight, some of the sequences were shot in IMAX. And then in Dark Knight Rises, even more of it was shot in IMAX. And then I think in Dunkirk, the whole film was shot in IMAX.
Mm.
It's all about the IMAX. It's incredible.
I love it.
It's
worth
phenomenal.
Every penny. I saw Dark Knight Rises. I saw Dunkirk in IMAX. And,
phenomenal film. Phenomenal.
Yeah, that is a tight 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And I saw Man of Steel in IMAX.
Did I see Man of Steel? Yeah, I think I did as well.
Mm.
Oh, hang on, you loved Man of Steel.
I did. I did. I loved. Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it.
Good.
I know.
That's
I know
good.
it's an acquired taste, but I despised Batman versus Superman. But I love Man of Steel.
Are you looking forward to Zack Snyder? Yeah, no. Zack Snyder's edit of Justice League.
I'm interested to see it. I don't know about looking forward, but I'm interested to see the differences, because that film made me hate my life. That really did. I remember going to see it. My brother taught me to go in to see it under sufferance, and I saw it in the smallest screen in Guildford Odeon because I didn't want to give it the IMAX, and it was just the whole film. I was just like, gee, I never needed to see a fat Batman rolling around on the grass in broad daylight, moaning about his bad back and how he's too old for this shit. I never needed to see Lois Lane shout, "Clark!" It's Superman in front of the Gotham PD. I never needed to see a cup of Lex Luthor's piss. I never needed to. Do you know what I mean? It was just wrong on every level.
He was fucking shocking.
Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg.
Awful.
Yeah,
awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful.
Every decision was wrong. To make Lex Luthor into that.
Well, no, but all he did is go, I want to do my Heath Ledger.
Absolutely.
It was embarrassing.
All the little quirks and all the little...
What did you think of Joker?
Loved it. I loved it.
Brilliant.
I could watch that film again and again and get something different every time.
How many times have you... I've only watched it the once.
I've done it... I did it twice at the cinema. I've done it once at home. And every time you see it, there's so much stuff that but just in him, little looks and moments and, you know.
Wow.
I watched it the third time I watched it, I was trying to find the moment when he became Joker. And you can't quite find it. There's no definitive moment when it's such a gradual unfolding and, you know.
Oh, hang on, you're really making me want to go home and watch. Do you know what? I might go home and watch the Joker.
Yeah.
After this.
It's worth it.
I think you should rewatch The Last Jedi.
I think I'm doing now.
But I mean, I'm watching the Joker. I actually I loved it. So I'm just getting to watch a film I love again. Yeah. Pub quiz, asshole. Heath Ledger or Joaquin Phoenix?
Now, this is the whole. I know, right?
I think it's my favourite question.
Here's one so in the original screenplay for Joker. Spoilers if you haven't seen it. Slight spoilers. The scene at the end when he's on the bonnet of the car and he gets up and does what he does. In the script, he got up and he realised that his face was cut on one side, and he reached down, picked up a piece of glass, and he cut the other side, and that was the last shot, was him doing that and then going like this. So he put.
Oh wow!
And the reason they dropped it was the director. Right, looked. I said, "Well, look, we do that. What we're saying is this is the Heath Ledger Joker. That's what we're saying to the audience. That this is the Heath.
Yeah.
And the whole point of the Heath Ledger Joker is you've got no idea where he came from. It's a mystery, and I don't want to kill that. So we're going to do. So instead, they come up with the moment. But yeah.
But you've not answered the question.
I think it's impossible to decide between. I mean, obviously, Jared Leto, we can all agree, was shocking, but that's unwatchable.
Terrible.
That's unwatchable from start. That whole film is unwatchable. But see
terrible.
How crazy I am.
What were they thinking?
But like, I think that Cesar Romero is the perfect Joker for the Batman '60s comedy series, and I think Jack Nicholson is the perfect Joker for the 1989 Batman. And I think Heath Ledger's the perfect Joker for Nolan's vision. And I think they're all perfect for their individual movies. So I find it impossible to pick between any one of them.
It's a good answer,
you know?
because it's a good answer because when Heath Ledger, when that performance was hailed, which it deservedly should have been, it seemed like it undermined Jack Nicholson's performance. But actually, when you rewatch that Batman, you realise, like you say, Jack Nicholson's Joker is just as good as Heath Ledger's.
Yeah,
it's just a different version.
It's a different film.
But it is just
Heath Ledger's Joker would not work in Batman '89. Impossible.
Yeah.
So, have you watched Batman '89 recently?
Not too recently, but I know the film. You want to get nuts?
Yeah,
let's get nuts.
He's so good. Are you excited about him coming back?
What?
Have you not
Is
heard
that really happening? I don't really understand. What's that about? What?
So the premise of they're making a Flash movie, and they're making a movie of the comic book Flashpoint. Do you know what that is?
No, I know nothing about Flash. Tell me. So tell me this. Explain this.
Flash in the comic books gets to the point where he can go so fast he can transcend time and go back in time, which is what that Vision is in Batman versus Superman when he suddenly appears and he's shouting stuff. It's this weird. So
Flashpoint, right, okay.
Flashpoint is the Flash's raison d'etre is that he, as a young man, he was a burglar was heading for his house and he ran home to warn his mum, but he got there too late and found his mum, had been murdered. So he, as the Flash, he goes back in time and fixes that and saves his mum's life. But when he gets back to now, everything's messed up and everything is slightly off. So Superman landed in the field in Smallville, but wasn't found by the Kents. He was found by the government, and they've had him in a laboratory ever since. And
wow, this is great.
Wonder Woman and Aquaman are at war. The Amazons are at war with Atlantis, and that's been going on for. But the Batman thing is, on the night where the Waynes are shot, that's different. What happens is the kid is shot. Bruce Wayne is shot dead, and his dad becomes the Batman. But because his dad is starting off as Batman in his mid-40s, he ain't got the time to do the 18 years and go training. So he just tools up. It's weapons and guns and his mind. And Keaton's playing that Batman in Flashpoint movie.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, that's what they've done. They've cast him as Batman in Flashpoint.
So weird. So hang on. So that's not what I thought at all. So because I thought Keaton was playing his Batman, but he's not. He's playing a variation.
Yeah.
So he's not playing. It's a different Batman.
That's how it is in the comic book anyway. So when the Flash comes back, everything's messed up. What they might do with this film is sort of have like this multiverse crossover thing where he comes back and that's the Batman. I don't know, but that's the premise anyway. And the idea is to reset the DC universe a little bit and try and get Affleck out of it, basically, and reboot everything. But I like the idea. Whatever happens, Keaton's playing old Batman, and I am chuffed to bits.
What about the Batman?
And that is a different continuity. That's set in a different timeline. It's getting messed up now.
Yeah,
confusing. Because what you're going to have is you're going to have 3 Batman running around, 3 Batmen potentially, because there's a Joker sequel coming as well. So
no, there's not.
That's the word. Yeah, they're trying to. Well, it's the most profitable comic book film in history.
There's only one. It's not a flaw. I had one really nice suggestion for Joker that I wish they had done. I think it would have been really cool. Do you remember when Joaquin Phoenix's character turns up at Wayne Manor?
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yes.
At the gate.
He's doing magic tricks for Bruce and the Alfred.
Yeah. Now, I can't quite remember. All I remember is he turns up at the gate, And I thought a nice little touch that they should have done that they didn't is that he gets scared by a bat. Like a bat just sort of flies out and he goes, "Eh!"
That would have been incredible.
That would have just been such a nice touch.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have loved that.
I wish that had happened. Yeah.
I also like, well, there's a rumour that the script of the Batman, in the script of the Batman, they put the studio put in, whether it gets made or not, I don't know, but apparently the post-credit scene is somebody signing themselves out of Arkham Asylum. And that's the last shot. You see them signing, when they turn around, it's Arthur Fleck signing, you know, he's done his time in Arkham. And he's going back into, that would be the last shot of the Batman. I don't know if they're going to do that or not, but I would love that if that was the case.
I just can't see, having watched Joaquin Phoenix interviews, I can't see him. I hope he does, and I hope that they're sending us the wrong way, and they're gonna do it. But I just can't see him doing a Batman film. But he fucking should.
He absolutely should.
It would be that Joker. Because I tell you what was the best thing about one of the best things about that film, as I say, I've only watched it once, is I left the cinema feeling like I desperately needed Batman to stop him.
Yes, that's it. Yes. Yeah.
And that was, and that's, I mean, that's the greatest advert of all time.
Mm.
I really hope they do that. And Robert Pattinson, yeah, I mean, I've got no problem with the Robert Pattinson.
Me neither. He can act.
Casting.
He can act.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm loving everything I've seen so far. I love the car. I love what I've seen of the suit, which ain't much, but I like it.
I thought the suit, I was a bit disappointed in the suit because I thought it was a bit too much like the Dark Knight Rises suit.
I can see that, yeah.
Did you like, what was your favourite suit of all
That
the films?
suit, Affleck's.
Yeah. It's a good suit.
I mean, I don't like the films, but I like the suit.
Mine is probably Keaton's.
Yeah, I think Keaton's is a close. Keaton's in '89 is a close second.
Yeah,
I've got to sort of forgive this.
Yeah.
But apart from that,
yeah.
But yeah, I don't. And then obviously you got the nipple suits from the other two are no good.
No,
they look like what they are.
Although I thought, again, controversial. I thought George Clooney was actually a good, like, could have been a good Bruce Wayne. Am I way off?
I think he could have been a good Batman if he'd been in the right film.
Yes, yeah.
I think that was entirely the writing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
fair play to Schumacher for apologising for it, though.
Very, very bold move. Yeah. It's like Batman versus Superman is one of the worst Batman films with some of the best Batman moments in it.
Like what? Which moments?
Well, the way he's introduced in Batman versus Superman, when they turn up at that warehouse and the guy's terrified and it's still up there, calling him it.
It's brilliant.
It's still up there. And then you're just terrified. There's a monster in it, and then you see him in that corner.
That's
brilliant. Phenomenal.
Brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's in the
agree with
fight
that.
in the warehouse when he's rescuing Martha. When he's rescuing Martha. Why did you say that name? That fight is brilliant. That's how Batman should move. You know, the way he's rolling around and.
Yeah.
Apart from the killing, I don't like my Batman don't kill. But apart from that, that aside, but it's just not. I can't say it's a good film, but there are Batman moments in it that are incredible.
What's the film you've seen the most at the cinema?
At the cinema.
I guess that you're someone that, as a kid or as a teenager, went to the cinema a lot and would see the same film a few times.
Oh yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. I think Doctor Strange is up there.
How really?
Yeah, I did that about 17 times. Yeah, I just loved it.
What? Hang on, you mean fucking Cumberbatch?
Yeah. I know, right?
I thought that. Okay. You think that's the film you've seen the most at the cinema?
It's not what I've seen the most at the cinema, but I've seen it I went and saw it a few times.
What?
I think I saw The Dark Knight Rises a few times.
I saw that. I think I saw that. I know. I think I saw The Dark Knight
And The Dark Knight,
four
both of them, yeah.
times. I think I saw The Dark Knight 4 times at the
And
cinema.
when Dark Knight Rises opened, the Guildford Odeon showed Batman Begins and Dark Knight the night before it opened. So
Amazing.
I went and saw those two on the big screen back to back the night before.
Fucking yeah.
And then went and saw The Dark Knight Rises, which I loved. I know it's a flawed film, but I love The Dark Knight Rises. I love all the Dark Knights. The Dark Knight trilogy, I love all of them.
I'm with you on that. I think The Dark Knight Rises is it's probably too flawed, but I still like it. The film I've seen the most at the cinema was 8 times. 8 times is the most I've seen a film. What did you say? 17?
No, I was exaggerating. It was about 5 or 6, I think. But
okay. I'll give you a clue. Try and guess. I don't know. I'll give you a clue. It's a Jim Carrey film of the Jim Carrey era. Jim Carrey is at his height, at the height of his sort of comedy films. One of those funny Jim Carrey films I saw 8 times. Can you guess which one?
I'm going to go with. I reckon it was. I don't think it's Ace Ventura. I think it was. Possibly The Mask.
No, I would have been a bit too young to go on my own cinema. Not
Bruce
Mask
Almighty.
Was 94. Liar, Liar.
Liar, Liar.
Liar, Liar is in my top probably 3, probably top 2 comedies of all time. That is, if I want to be happy, I put on that. I think it's the performance in that. I still cry when Jim Carrey shouts the line at the judge, "I hold myself in contempt. Why should you be any different?" I still get teary-eyed at it. It makes me laugh so much, and it's such it's a family film. It's for kids and parents. I love it. It's my favourite Jim Carrey.
You may want to watch that again now as well.
The pen is blue. The pen is blue. The goddamn pen is blue. The pen is blue.
I love him.
So
what do you think of Jim and Andy?
Do you know I met Jim Carrey?
I know. I'm trying to get that story out of it. Yeah, I want to hear this. I've read the piece you wrote about it, but
yeah. So.
Oh, hang on a second, Sean. It's about to chuck us off Instagram because it gives you like 50 minutes and it chucks you off. So if I go off and then we'll jump back on again, is that all right?
Yes, that is of course all right.
So just wait there. I'll jump off and then we'll be straight back on. Otherwise, we're going to get cut off and I don't want to hear the story. So 2 seconds.
So we close. We go.
Yeah. So everybody's watching. Come back. I'll be back on in 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds. We'll be back on. Cheers, everybody.